got made redundant. I started a job as a mortgage broker. I was there for 11 months, and then without any real good reason, I got sacked. And I remember that a lot because I was just sat in the car like, what the hell has just happened? I don't have many chips on my shoulder, but I realised that is it. Like that guy, sometimes I think back going, he was an absolute. I'll box him actually.
Is there mortgage brokers out there that fabricate paperwork to get someone mortgages, or is that a myth, or that doesn't happen? Welcome back to my channel where we discuss personal development, business and everything else that's connected. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, then please hit the like and subscribe button. Just to let you know, we are now releasing videos every Wednesday 11 AM and every Sunday 3 PM. Make sure to tune in as you don't want to miss them.
I follow him, he does pull-ups and that's what he does, pull-ups and chest.
Pull-ups and chest, yeah.
Whoa. Bro, this is a balance thing, is it?
I'll tell you what, drink a sip.
Yeah.
Drink a sip or two, and then it's easier for you to pop there, right?
Indeed.
So is that alcohol, yeah?
No, it's cocktail.
It's I hope it's a virgin espresso martini, yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's what he told me.
You chatting shit.
Nah, yeah, I'm a good boy.
Okay. Well, listen, Shaz, thank you so much for coming on.
Nice.
You're funny. Every time I see you, you're always smiling.
Listen, life's too short not to smile.
I know.
Yes.
Are you never stressed?
I'm always stressed because how you can manage your stress, innit?
I love that about you, though. Like, every time I see you, you're always smiling.
Yeah.
And you're everywhere.
That's why people say, where's Shaz? And the answer is, everywhere.
Yeah. So, who is Shaz? Tell me in your own words.
So
How would you
a little
describe
intro.
Shaz?
Okay, fine. So I'm Shaz. I'm a mortgage broker. I work with property investors, getting their finances sorted, which is bridging, buy-to-let, investment and finance. But really what I do day to day is I network a lot, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I'm on social media a lot, doing a bit of content. And that's how I get clients really. So yeah, traveling, networking and doing some mortgages on the side.
So for networking for you is massive, isn't it? It's that's how you get clients, I suppose. So you need to be at every single networking event, don't you?
Yes and no. I think initially when you're starting off and you've got no clients, yeah, go everywhere. When you've scaled up to a certain level, then be very selective because your time is important.
How old are you?
How old do I think I am?
You young? In your 20s?
No.
Late 20s?
Bro, I'm 37.
Okay.
You don't look surprised.
No. Like, look, you look a bit, you preserved your age.
Thanks.
So
it's
how long?
smiling, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah. Smiling and happy, right?
Yeah.
I think I need to learn a bit more of that from you.
Yeah.
Because I'm always grumpy and
No, you're
moody.
not. Listen, I've seen we just had a photo shoot and you were smiling then.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Why are you sitting like that?
That's just how I sit.
Style, yeah?
Professional, isn't it? This is the blue tick seating position.
Okay. So, Shaz, tell me, like, joking aside, like, how long have you been doing mortgages for? And
Yeah.
you're brokering, and have you got your own firm, or like, how did it start off?
Yeah. So I've been in finance for 10 years now.
Wow. Okay.
Working for corporates, Barclays and Lloyds. That was pretty boring. That was just residential mortgages, first-time buyers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They made us redundant 6 years ago. Moved all the jobs to Liverpool, not even offshore, right to Liverpool. And that's when I went self-employed, started working with investors and going all in on that kind of market. So I've been working with investors for like 5-6 years now. And yeah, last August, so August 2022, set up my own company.
Yeah.
So I've got my own company, own business, got a few staff members and stuff. Trying to grow the team, but it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah. I guess with your mortgage business, you've got 10 years experience in finance, right? So you were working with these big blue chip companies. So you was working for them, right?
Working for them, to be honest, churning business. People calling in because they know the name Barclays or they know the name Lloyds.
Yeah.
There's no ownership really. It's just churn and burn. Again, I was a lot younger then, and that is fine to a certain degree. But would I do that now at that income? Hell no.
Absolutely not. So for someone who's basically in finance or who's working with them companies, what are they looking to get paid around about?
It's not changed a lot. I think, to be honest, you're looking at 22 to 23, 24K plus commission, overtime.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of overtime.
Oh, do they?
There. Yeah, and it's okay. I got into sales then.
Right.
I think learning the skill of sales, I've been good at selling for a long time. I think sales, effective communication, marketing, those are the skills then that really made me good at what I do now.
Interesting. So you mentioned sales.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to touch on that just a little bit.
Can I have a
Drink what
sip
you
of
want.
my non-alcoholic
Listen,
martini?
you got biscuits there as well.
Thanks.
If you want some
I
biscuits,
just want to make sure
because
everyone
Lulu
knows
didn't
this
have
is
hers. So
non-alcoholic. Keep it halal, brother.
yeah. Now that you've said that, now
Yes.
people are going to question it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you never said anything.
They wouldn't give it. They wouldn't give it.
So sales, right?
Yes.
So how important is sales these days, and what is sales to you?
I've been saying this a lot recently. I think right now, cost of living, all this sort of stuff's going on.
Yeah.
The skill of being able to sell
Yeah.
is as important as any right now. Because if you can't, sales is involved in everything you do. Whether you're trying to get your friends to go to a specific restaurant, for the day to make plans, whether you're with your partner trying to make plans, or if you're selling a product or a service, everything, sales is involved in everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's the most important thing.
But how would someone go about learning that? Because it's a stigma attached to sales, isn't it? Because a lot of people say, oh, they sell stuff, right? But wait a minute, it's the key to everything.
It's absolutely key. Negotiation, sales. So how you get into it is you get yourself around the right people. You elevate your circle, you follow the right people on social media, you read the right books, podcasts, and you understand that sales is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's about how you kind of position yourself, how you handle any objections, how you make the other person feel, and how you get yourself energetic.
Okay, so would you say learning sales is go and work somewhere, like knock on door to door and understand the basics, or work in a car place or somewhere, or pick up the phone and ring? Like,
It's a good question. I mean, my first ever job
yeah,
was telephone sales. So I was selling windows on the phone, and that was hardcore. So they'd give you a book of just numbers and names. You'd
you just had
call,
to ring them.
you'd ring old grannies and be like, hey, we've got people next door, at the neighbour's house. When can we come and see you? Even though you weren't there.
Right.
And you couldn't come off the phone until you actually made that sale.
Yeah.
So it was hardcore and it was really unethical, but we did it. That was like I was 18 maybe then. That is a kind of selling. I wouldn't sell like that anymore. But in terms of if people get into sales now, you don't have to be doing car sales or anything. I think everything is sales. It's about understanding that though. So I'm a mortgage broker, right?
Yeah.
But the way I generate business is through a form of sales. I'll meet people at networking events, sell my personality to them, sell the fact that I've got referrals, word of mouth, my content on Instagram. It's all part of the sales process. They think you're legit. They think you know what you're doing, and either they'll come to you or they'll refer you on to someone else.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So you come out of this job, you open a business. Was this your first business?
I've had a burger restaurant in the past.
Okay.
Gourmet burgers, yes.
Before you went into finance, or?
Just after I got made redundant, so I was still doing mortgages, but I had a 6-month gardening leave.
So you had a burger restaurant. Where was it?
Newport in South Wales.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
Are you from Wales?
I'm Wales, born and bred.
Right,
Listen, you've got an
okay.
international guest here.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I couldn't tell by your accent.
Give it a few more drinks, it'll come out.
Born Wales.
Yeah, born and bred.
So you're from Wales. So what sort of a restaurant was it? How much did you spend setting it up? Was it established? Did you start it from scratch? How?
Yes, so my cousin, my sister's husband, brother-in-law,
Yeah.
his business partner, their main business is takeaways and little restaurants, right? So that's their trade.
Yeah.
My thing really has always been, I'm quite creative, so I was like, guys, I'll do your logos for you, I'll do your branding for you, do your menus for you. And I don't know what happened. I think I was just maybe having a burger at some point. I was like, you know what, there's a gap in the market here. For a halal burger restaurant in Newport in South Wales, there's nothing around, and why don't we set one up? And they were like, we'll do it, we'll happily do it, but you've got to be involved because you're doing nothing. I was doing, you're being redundant. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm doing nothing, so yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So put a bit of money in. I think the initial set wasn't that much. I think it was about 14k each, so whatever that is times 3. And it was a nice 2 double shop fronted restaurant. And it was good. I mean, look, we won awards, and I know that doesn't mean a lot sometimes, but it was good. We were credible. We had people from Bristol, as far as Bristol, coming to Wales to have the food. So
Really?
to me, that's the tester that, people coming that far into town. But what happened was during COVID, or because of COVID and the pandemic, we went really hard on deliveries.
Right.
Which is great. Business was great on deliveries, but the amount they take off of their commissions and stuff, suddenly you're left with less than what you would have.
Yeah.
And secondly, once lockdown restrictions were lifted, people just wouldn't want to come in anymore because they can get it delivered.
Yeah.
That hurt the business, but it still ran. I just got really busy being the finance guy. So I was like, guys, look, I can't be here and there, so I need to leave.
Did you love what you do? Did you love it, or did you think that
it was my baby? I'll be honest, my baby. Like I did the name, the logo, the branding, did the menus. I'm really fussy. I was like, look, if this is the burger, we had a burger called the Godfather, right? I was like, so with the
Is that what it's
Godfather,
called?
yeah, because it's free reign. I can call it whatever I want, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Godfather, my favorite film. So it's like the onion rings go on the top. Then after the bun, you've got the sauce. Then you've got the burger. Then you've got the cucumbers. Then the lettuce. And if the layering was wrong, I wouldn't send it out. I was really that fussy about it. So
Yeah,
it's my
yeah,
little
yeah.
pet project. You know, we had one called the special Childish Gambino because he's my favorite rapper. Like, I had free reign to do whatever. So yeah, I loved
Did you
it.
study any other burger places before opening it?
Yeah, we went all around London tasting all these gourmet burger restaurants. Yeah.
What about Manchester? Did you study Archie's?
We were aware of Archie's, but that wasn't the branding we were going for. Where
Because
theirs is
they
quite,
do that with names.
they do that, don't they? Where celebs go in and give their
Yeah,
burgers
yeah,
names.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Amir Khan milkshake.
Yeah, there's a 50
Floyd
cent one.
Mayweather, I don't know, something.
Yeah. No, I think their image is more like American style, so that wasn't
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we were
yeah.
going for. But yeah, even the interior design, did all of it. You know, the flooring, the wallpaper. So yeah, it's my pet project. Definitely was a passion project that I was in love with, but
Is it still there now or is it
it's
finished?
still there now.
But you're nothing to do with it?
I'm just not involved at all. But it's good because towards the end, I'd be there, meant to be managing the place, but I'd be on my laptop doing mortgage deals, and it's like, it doesn't work.
So what did you learn in that business?
I learned, the main thing I learned is that any other business I do, I really want to be hands-on and actually know how to do every single part of the business. So whether it's cooking, cleaning, pots and pans, serving, deliveries, even if I don't end up doing it, I want to know all those skills and actually be able to do them.
Yeah. Did you have a social life when you had that place?
I haven't got a social life now, so no.
You haven't got a social life?
I haven't got a social life.
I see you at every single bar.
That's work.
I like it.
Yes.
Okay. So how was social life though when you have a restaurant? Because
Look,
it seems like it's non-existent for most people because it's 7 days, early starts, late finishes.
Exactly, and imagine when the overlap was there when I started doing the mortgages. I'd be in the mortgage office 9 till 5,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
get an hour break, and then go to the restaurant at 11. So work-life balance wasn't really a thing. But again, initially, because it was my thing, I enjoyed it. But after a while, it's like, you know what, I'm really tired now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And look, you learn a lot from that, right?
I definitely took a lot of learnings, and we ended on good terms. It wasn't a case of we fallen out.
Falling out,
It was
yeah.
just like, you take it back off me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you then transitioned to mortgage. You
I kind
broke
of
your
went
firm.
all into it, yeah.
Yeah, all in. You thought, this is what I know. I want to go all in on this,
Yeah.
right? You understood a little bit about businesses at this point because obviously you had that.
My
How
dad,
was
my
that?
dad used to have a shop as well. We used to have a corner shop.
Yeah,
So I've been around my dad working all hours, and
yeah.
we used to live upstairs. It was that kind of cozy setup.
Okay,
You know what I mean? It was
okay,
that
yeah.
kind of corner shop. So yeah, I've been around that, and I knew money in, money out, work ethic, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you know what? I just thought about something. So growing up in Wales,
Yes.
for Asian, what was it like? Pay attention. I've got some exciting news for you guys. I've launched a 7-day total free audio course for you guys, which is going to help you improve and elevate your mindset, and it's also going to help you in your business. All you have to do is go and sign up every single day, day 1 to day 7. You will receive a free 2-minute audio from me in my own words, in my voice, and what that will do is help you in your business and your mindset. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
It's fine. Wales, where I'm from, is Newport in South Wales.
Right.
It's very multicultural.
Is it? Okay.
Yes and no. I think it's multicultural in the sense of there are definitely loads of cultures there. When I was younger, we would definitely mix with people. What I've noticed now as I'm older is a lot of the newer cultures that are there, no one really mixes with each other. So you've got the Europeans, they hang around with themselves. You've got the Pakistanis who just don't mingle. You know, everyone sticks to their own. So a lot of different cultures, but not a lot of mixing.
Okay, cool. So you got into this brokerage firm that you opened up.
Yep.
In terms of the setting up the business part of it, was it the same, the foundations?
So I set the business up in August, right?
Yeah, just
But-
you at this point, yeah?
That was just me from
Yeah.
August with my admin and other staff. But 2 years before that, I was working self-employed under the mortgage firm.
Right.
Now, I would class those 2 years as basically me setting the foundations.
Interesting.
So that's me traveling, getting my name out there, making sure people know who I am, not the mortgage firm. Not intentionally, but they know
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they know Shaz. So then when I moved across, that brand, that reputation moves across with me.
Yeah, yeah. See, this is the part people don't understand, do they? Like, all of a sudden, they see you appearing somewhere, but they don't understand them years that you put in,
Yeah.
where you set the ground, the
You've
foundations,
got to do it,
right?
and it's like people say, you know, is it hard work or do you get tired or how do you find the time? You've got to make time. you got to work it backwards. What's your outcome from doing all of this stuff?
Mm.
And then you realize, yeah, it is worth it.
Yeah, yeah. So you're a mortgage broker.
Yes, I am.
You're a big commodity to people in property.
Hmm.
Is that all you do, mortgage broking, or do you do other part of finance as well
So
now?
yeah, like people do protection. I don't really do protection. I
Yeah.
don't do residential mortgages. I like to just laser focus on the niche, which is whatever property investors want. So finance for investment properties.
So you help them get finance in place, really?
Basically, look, these investors, they run their property businesses as businesses, right? They have a
Yeah.
limited company. I want to be seen as the finance arm of their business.
Yeah, yeah.
So they pay us a fee, we get the transaction done. It's very unemotional, if I'm honest. So whereas when I was doing residential at Barclays, you'd have your first time buyers. They'd love you. Oh, my first ever house, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah,
They'd
yeah.
love you, but you're not going to see them again for another 2 years.
Yeah.
With these investors, you're going to see them every 3-4 months because they're buying stuff
They're
regularly.
buying regularly, yeah.
So they don't really want chit chat, right? Here's the deal, here's the numbers, get it done.
So you don't do residential mortgages anymore?
No, I can do. I'm qualified. It's not my thing.
So if a customer came, you would just not take them on?
No, I'd refer them on to someone else.
Okay, so you know about them though, right?
I know enough about to have a conversation. I just
Right.
don't want to take the business on.
Got it. So I've got a question for you. So a lot of people that get involved in property at the start, they go, not all of them, like I know a few that have gone down the residential route
Yes.
first, just to get on the ladder, and then gone down the buy-to-let route, because their argument is that why would I pay 25% when I can just pay, I don't know, 10%. Now I know it's wrong, like they shouldn't be doing it, but what is the kind of the formula? Like how can someone, do they get caught? Do they not get caught? Is it down to your discretion as a mortgage broker to be like, oh, I've just witnessed something which shouldn't be happening, so I'm going to report them? Or is it like, I don't care what you do?
Good topic. I'm glad you brought this up because I've posted about this recently on Instagram as well.
do you?
I did, yes. So the way I look at it is, if you're doing something
You're
wrong,
bursting to say something.
yeah, no, if you're doing something wrong that you know is wrong, yeah.
Yeah,
The first thing is, why are you on Instagram talking, like broadcasting that you're doing something wrong?
fair enough, yeah.
That's the first thing. Secondly, yeah, if someone came to me and they made me aware of what's going on, I would refuse to do it in the first place.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't process it because it's not worth me risking my license for that one transaction.
yeah, yeah.
But if I didn't know what they were planning, then you can process it because you're not.
You
you're not
don't
gonna
know.
You're not going to know. But what does get me is people on social media broadcasting these things like,
Bragging about it.
here's how this free house did this, and it's like, yeah, but the first part is wrong, and you know it's wrong. So why, like, whose validation do you need? Because you're telling like 20,000 people that you've just committed mortgage fraud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not the mortgage police, by the way. Do what you want.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But people do that though, don't they?
No, they do it. I think in terms of getting caught and how the actual implications, I'll be honest. So the lender you're with, whilst you're doing what you shouldn't be doing, they won't have any idea, right? But the problem comes is when you come off that and you want to refinance to another lender, they'll see that you've had a residential mortgage before, and they'll question it. So it's the exit that's the issue, not the entry.
Got it, okay.
Because
okay.
the lender you're with, let's say you go with Barclays,
Hmm.
and you don't live in it, you just start demolishing it and turn it into a 4-bedroom HMO.
Yeah,
They have no idea.
yeah, yeah.
But then
yeah.
when you go in 6 months to Lloyd's, they're going to see, well, hang on, the current mortgage with Barclays, what happened?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the issue.
So how many residential mortgages can somebody get before they basically get into the buy-to-let? Just a simple question. Like, let's just say if I was actually doing buy-to-lets,
Yeah.
but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna milk this residential stuff first. So how many can I really do before they get, basically the big companies get onto me like, wait a minute, how are you buying all these residentials?
I mean,
some say 2, some say 1, is it more, is it less, or is it?
there's no real formula, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to
Yeah, yeah.
give you these hacks, but I think
Hacks.
and pro tips. But like, if you've got one residential at a time,
Yeah,
what happens is if people spot trends. So, for example, if you go from residential mortgage, residential mortgage, residential mortgage,
yeah,
and it's apparent that they're then turning into buy-to-let mortgages
yeah, yeah.
after one after another. I mean, maybe after 3 or 4, suddenly they'll be like, hang on, there's red flags here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there is something called a Hunter's report. That's like a database where
A hunter's report.
you end up on a blacklist, basically. You don't want to get on that list.
Yeah, yeah. Then you're banned from all,
You're basically blacklisted, yeah.
unless Shaz comes in and be like,
I'm not even going to support you on that.
no, I'm only messing. Okay, so let's talk buy-to-let mortgages then. So for someone who wants to get involved in and build a big portfolio,
Yeah.
how much deposit do you need?
25%. Normally, there's some lenders doing less than that, but say 25% to
Right.
be safe.
So when you say 25%, let's just say a house is 100 grand. Do they need 25 grand plus legal fees?
Plus the fees.
Plus
So,
stamp duty?
plus all the fees, yes.
Right, okay.
So you're going to pay your solicitor, stamp duty. You might have an accountant setting up your company and stuff. You might have some fees for the agents that you're buying it with.
Yeah.
Lender might charge you an admin fee. There's valuation fees. So I would say another five grand for fees as well up front.
Can you just mention all the fees that are...
Yeah, so you got stamp duty.
Yep.
You've got your mortgage broker fee. Some brokers don't charge, some do, but let's just say 500 quid broker fee.
Yep.
Solicitor fees, probably about £1,000, probably a bit less than that, but let's say £1,000.
Right.
Then the lender might charge you like a £200 admin fee just to get the case in. Then you've got valuation fees to go out and value the property. That's probably 500 quid. So it's a couple of grand.
Yeah.
But those are the fees that you pay up front that you can't add on to the loan.
Yeah, so in theory, you're more or less paying something like nearly 30% then, isn't it?
Yeah, on 100 grand, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what sort of paperwork does someone need to have in place in order to get into that?
Sure. So, you know what, this sounds like simple, but some people just forget or don't realise. So, you need proof of ID. So, photo ID, passport or driving licence.
Yeah.
Make sure it's up to date. I've seen some passports given to me and it's like, hang on, this expired 6 months ago. Oh, yeah, I didn't have renewed it. So, up to date passport or driving licence. Then you need proof of income.
Yeah.
So, on a buy-to-let mortgage, the amount you can borrow is down to the rent. However, lenders still want to just check what your income is. So, if you're employed, it's 3 months pay slips.
Even though it's a buy-to-let, they still want to know.
Even if it's a buy-to-let and it's self-funding,
Yeah.
they still want to make sure that if the property is empty, could you cover it with your income? Are you kind of sustainable? Have you got contingency? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're employed, pay slips. If you're self-employed, it's tax calculations.
For how long?
1 year's fine.
Okay.
But some people say, look, I'm a director of my company and I pay myself a salary. Am I employed or self-employed? You're self-employed because you essentially you pay yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Proof of address. Now, normally bank statements are okay, but you can't use them for two things. So I would say something other than a bank statement. So maybe a phone bill, council tax letter, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then you need bank statements to evidence your income. So if you've got 3 pay slips, see the bank statements of money going in. What else do you need? That basically is it initially anyway. And proof of deposit. The big one actually, good mention in this, is proof and source of deposit. So Ibby, you need 25 grand deposit, yeah? Shaz, here's a bank statement, 25 grand, great. That's easy. But now I'm like, where's that money come from? Show me, last 6 months worth of bank statements. A lot of people can't, or the money's been coming in big chunks, or it's from an uncle who's abroad. Like the source of deposit question throws people off. It's best to have that ready before you apply for a mortgage.
So, so who asks that? Do you ask that, or do the actual lender ask that?
No, the lender asks for it, but I guess our job is to preempt any of their queries. So I'll ask you for it up front anyway.
Yeah.
I want to know where you've got your money from because, for example, if it's come from abroad, is it from a country that's on a specific list? You can't have that money. Or if it's a gift from, if it's a gift from a family member, right? You might think, happy days, my uncle's giving me a gift. The lender wants to know where he's got his money from. Suddenly it becomes a bit awkward to get all these documents just for the sake of buying a house.
Right, okay, but see, a lot of people that have private investors. Now, let's just say that's going to go in as a chunk, right? Now, if you asked me, for argument's sake, that Ibby, where's that money come from? And I'd be like, well, I got it from a private investor. I've got a 2-year contract with them.
Yeah.
Here's an agreement, private agreement, which we've written out. Are you happy with that?
Yes and no. So, mortgage lenders, if it's a mortgage, like a buy-to-let mortgage, the deposit has to be your money or gifts from family. If it's a limited company, it can also be money from shareholders. You can't have third-party investors on a limited company mortgage. What you can have investors with is like bridging loans. So if you've got a project where you're going to buy, renovate, and then sell it or refinance it, you don't get a mortgage, you get a bridging loan, which is short-term.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah, so they're happy with investors. But, similar thing. You've got an investor, you need to have their ID, their proof of funds, their source of funds, usual anti-money laundering checks that your solicitor should be doing anyway to take money off them. And they'll also usually, for bridging lenders, because these guys are so risk averse, right? They have to sign something called a deed of subordination. And what that is, it's a legal document that says, I'm giving Ibby this money, it's unsecured, and I have no interest in the house. All these things add on to your legal costs, and suddenly the investor who wants to be hands-off has to be quite involved.
So the best way to, you're saying, do it is either go down the bridging route.
if it's a project, right? If you're getting a property and you're gonna have no tenants in there for like 3-4 months, you're gonna change the property.
Yeah.
You're gonna then maybe add value and either refinance or sell it.
Yeah.
Then you don't get a mortgage, you get a bridging loan.
Yeah. No, I understand that. But my thing here, what I'm trying to ask you is that, see, some people don't like the bridging route because it's, you know, you have to pay a certain percentage
It's
back.
more
and
expensive,
It's more
yes.
expensive. Like a short period of time. With a private investor, they might have a bit more of a relationship and feel like that's the route I want to go down. Then, in that case, do they then have to make sure just all the paperwork's right then?
Yeah. So anytime you take money from an investor, you
Yeah.
have to go through a solicitor. Don't just take a bank transfer, and then your solicitor should do anti-money laundering checks on the
Yeah.
investor.
Yeah, and as long as that part's done, and then the lender will be okay with
You
knowing.
still can't do it on a mortgage though.
Right. Okay.
Mortgages have to be your money basically.
Yeah.
But the question is sometimes, if you've got an investor putting money into your company,
Yeah.
if it's been sat in that company for say 6 months, at what point does it become your money? Do you know what I mean? Or let's say you've got 50 grand from an investor, 50 of your own money in the same account, that's 100 grand, and you get 750 of it. Who's to say whose money is being spent?
Yeah. What if you have an investment company and then it comes from there? Like, is it still a bit fishy or?
It will be because again, they want to make sure that none of that money, or all of that money, is clean money.
Yeah.
And if it's investment companies, and it's just hard to track.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, the reason I'm asking all these questions is because these are genuine problems that
Of
people are
course.
facing, right? People have got a lot of money, but
Yeah.
they don't know, like, there's no account for it. They're not paying tax on it. There's so much
I
problems going
understand.
on, right?
Yeah. I get a lot of Asian customers, yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't happen as much anymore. But are you familiar with committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, a committee is absolutely legal and above board, right?
Yeah.
But try explaining that to like a mortgage lender. They're like,
Yeah.
well, hang on, every month this money's just swapping around. What's going on? So little things like that, you just have to be clear because again, there's 4 of us, 5 of us here.
Yeah.
How do you know that everyone's got a clean source of money coming in?
Yeah. Guys, we've got a big audience out here today, so this is the
Yes,
first time.
of
Like,
course.
we've got a huge audience here.
Who's
So
who
if you want to
property.
actually join us for next time, just let me know.
You should offer that as a service. I've seen people do that.
Yeah, well, we haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, commercial valuations.
Okay.
I know there's a thing that you can buy a house, refurb,
Yes.
and quickly within 6 months get a commercial valuation on it. And
You make it sound so easy.
And
You make it
somehow
sound
you're
so
going to
easy.
become, you know,
Financially free in 7 days.
a
Yeah,
6-7 figure. Yeah. But so how long is the waiting time? What's the paperwork involved? And like, is it a bit of a myth?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so let's break down commercial valuations.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
of all, in terms of time length, there's no real time. You can
Okay.
refinance
Yeah.
within 6 months. That's fine.
Yeah.
When people talk about commercial or investment valuations, what they mean is a valuation based on the income of the property and not the bricks and mortar value, right? And that is typical on HMOs, house and multiple occupancy, when you have 4 or more unrelated people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not against them, but people have unrealistic expectations. If you've got a HMO,
Yeah.
let's say it's 5 bedrooms or less, yeah? You've got a 5-bedroom HMO.
Yeah.
That property can be lived in by a family. Like if you sold it back to a family,
Yeah.
that's a family house. So
Got
why
it.
would that be valued like a commercial asset? Do you get me? If you've got 7 bedrooms and above, then you've gone through planning. To make it 7 bedrooms or larger, you probably have to do an extension. You know, it's probably really funky, and it's no longer a family home. Yeah.
Now you can visibly see that it's just.
You can see it's an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of these designs are mad. So that gets an investment valuation.
Got it.
6 bedrooms is borderline because it depends. If it's like 6 bedrooms, all en suite, then maybe you'll get it. But if it's like a 6-bedroom where you put a stud wall in downstairs and that's 6 bedrooms, then again, it's a family home that could be lived in like a family. So that's the guidance on it. But not all lenders do investment valuations. That's the other thing. So you're going to end up paying like 0.5% to 1% more to get the higher valuation. It's not a myth. I think you just have to be really, really realistic.
Yeah.
The other concern I've got, just for your listeners and viewers, is like, let's say you've got a 6, if 7 and above is fine. So on the 6 bedrooms, the concern I've got is you've got a 6-bedroom
Yeah.
HMO. You're happy to pay over the odds and get a commercial valuation. So you've got the commercial valuation. So now you've got 75% loan against a higher valuation. But in the future now, if you want to sell that house or even refinance it, you're kind of stuck. If you want to refinance it, you're going to have to find another lender who's going to give you that commercial value on a 6-bed. So you're probably stuck with that same lender. If you want to sell it, you're going to have to find an investor, a buyer who's happy to pay over the odds,
Yeah.
go to a commercial lender to get an investment val because your debt is so high on it.
Yeah, so it's like it may resolve one little problem in the short run, but it creates like a few different big problems
The
down.
exit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay, so halal mortgages, right?
Yes.
What I mean by this is like people that want to do what is the system there with if someone wants to go down the halal mortgages? How does it work? Do you know anything about it?
Yes, you don't follow me. Do you follow me on Instagram? I did a video on
I
this.
do follow you on
Thank
Instagram,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
But you don't put many stories up.
I put loads of content up. I think I blocked you.
Just recently in the last day or two.
No. Now, so with halal, they call it Sharia compliant mortgages. The market is quite limited.
Yeah.
I think because the cost of funding it is quite high. To get it all approved and actually make sure the money's legit is just very difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's 3 types of halal mortgages.
I think this is going to be a really important topic because people probably don't even
No,
know
I'll be
this.
honest. I did a video on this, and I'll be really honest. I was really reluctant to do it because I was like, if I get anything wrong, if I come across like I'm being patronising on the video,
Yeah, yeah.
it'll trigger people, right? But luckily, well received. So, 3 types of halal mortgages, if I can remember them all. You've got the ijara.
Right.
With ijara, the lender, the halal lender, they buy the property rather than you, so they're the owner. They rent it back to you for a fixed amount per month.
Right.
It's simple,
Just because they've got the cash.
They've got their investment funds and stuff, yeah.
Right.
They rent it back to you. You can have 2 options. You can either pay just the rent only, or you can pay rent and acquisition, which means your balance comes down. If I was to compare it to a normal mortgage, that's like interest only,
Yeah.
capital repayment, yeah. That's the first one. Second one is called diminishing musharaka. With that, it's similar to ijara. So but the difference is you and the lender, you both buy a percentage, and then the lender rents you back their share.
Right.
So same principle, you can pay rent only or acquisition as well. But the difference with this and ijara is with the second one, the diminishing musharaka, you actually have ownership in the property straight away.
Right.
And then the third method is called murhaba. I hope I'm getting this right.
Marhaba.
No, murhabaha. It's not marhaba. No.
Okay. But there's a third one as well.
Third one, yeah. So with this one, this is more for like the equivalent of bridging finance, if you're going to compare it. With this, the lender buys the asset that you want to buy. They agree a future value, a higher value, and you just pay, again, you pay against the higher value. Kind of like a lease option in a way.
All right.
Now, recently there are some lenders trying to make these things work for investors because there is a market. So there's a lender called Offer, OFFA, and they do halal short-term finance, so basically what bridging would be. And then you can exit off with lenders like Gatehouse Bank, Al Rayan Bank onto a longer mortgage. So in theory, you could start from A to Z, do a renovation project on the bridge with Offer, refinance with Gatehouse, go from end to end, keep it all halal, keep it Sharia compliant. The thing is though, these finance products are more expensive. So often, in my experience, I'll have investors come to me saying, Shaz, I want to keep it, halal. What's that look like? I'll give them the quote. They'll realize it's more expensive. They'll say, okay, what's the quote if it wasn't halal? Just for sake of interest.
Yeah.
And then because it's a lot cheaper, they'll go with that. So people tend to they want to do it, but it's just the cost is prohibitive.
Yeah, because if the costs are expensive and the numbers don't work, it's not a deal, is it?
Because you can still run a business. End of the day, you've got to make sure the rent covers your costs.
Yeah. Because the way you've just described it there, like I'd run off. It seems too complicated in terms of there's this and then there's this.
They've just got. I think they've. End of the day, a lot of people, their opinion is, it's not really halal. All they've done is just changed some of the wording on it.
And added big fees and that
And added
sort.
big fees. I understand why it's more expensive because the cost of getting the funding in the back is higher. But yeah, if you want to do it, there are options.
Okay. What's your passions in life, Shaz?
My passion is helping people, serving people. I think look, if
You
I can,
genuinely get happy doing
of course, man. Yeah, look,
Yeah,
if I can make someone happy, smile every day, once a day, that's me done. I can sleep at night. You know what I mean?
Well, since you've been here, you've made me smile.
I'm glad.
I'm
glad. Yeah, I've been in Manchester, such a friendly city. I went through Arndale Centre earlier, smiled at random people. People smiled back. That wouldn't happen in Birmingham, So.
Well, is that where you living at the moment?
No, I don't live there, but I network there a lot.
Right.
Because it's the closest kind of major city.
From where you are.
From where I am. I think we're here to serve people. For me, anyway, that's one of my values: is serving and helping. And if I can help people, then that makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, that's well put. I need to ask you about AI because it's a big thing. Do you know much about it?
Yes.
Tell me.
Is that a question
Yeah,
generated
just
by
tell me
AI?
about AI. Like how important is it in this day and age?
Sure.
Also, how do you use it for your business?
Okay, so I think AI is one of those future modern tools. Actually, I actually think is a real valuable tool. So unlike the metaverse, which really has flopped, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, AI works. We've seen proof of concept. We've seen things working with AI. That some things are really mind blowing. Like the, and it's interesting. I was listening to Alex Hormozy on a podcast, and he said usually with any big technological advances, it's the lower skilled workers that suffer because their jobs get taken away. But actually, he goes with AI, it's the higher skilled workers, the creatives that are losing their jobs because that's what AI can do. It can be more creative. It can generate images, generate text. So it's the skilled workers that have to be worried, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. So in terms of real-term use, you have to chat GPT, but it's only as good as the prompts you give it. So if you put a prompt in, I'm doing a podcast with a mortgage broker, what should I ask? It'll give you generic answers. But if you put in there, I'm doing a podcast with a mortgage broker who works with property investors. He's been in the business this long. I want to understand X, Y, and Z. My audience is this. What questions would I ask? You get much better response back. So there's still that human element, right? Because it's
Yeah,
only as
yeah.
good as the input you're putting in. But I've seen all sorts of usages. I think in the mortgage industry, there are people speaking like, are our jobs at risk and so on.
Is it?
I don't think so. I think because, especially with specialist finance, which is the area that I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about the relationships and the experience and the kind of hands-on knowledge, which AI just won't have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One thing I think is happening, which is quite funny, is I find a lot of things now are just being labelled as AI when it's just not. It's just formulas. So, like, I'm thinking of an example, but like, yeah, a lot of tools where it's not really AI, it's not intelligent. It's just doing, if this happens, do this. That's not AI. That's just a formula of if and that.
Yeah, yeah.
So not everything is AI, but I think AI is definitely here to stay.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you invest in cryptos or anything else, or have you invested in
Yes,
it?
I've got a portfolio.
Have
It's not
you?
great. Not very active with it. My friend D Ludlow should be helping me more, but he's not.
I
Maybe
asked him about it.
is he coming on?
No, he was here last
Oh,
week.
he did say. Yes, he did say.
Yeah,
Actually.
he was here last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you mean he's not helping you?
well, now I'm
Why is
messing
D
around.
not helping you?
Let's put this on. Why is D not helping me? That's a joke though.
We'll clip that and we'll send it to him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be a good TikTok clip.
You love your TikToks. Nah, so I've got a portfolio. I'm not really active with it. I don't trade like actively, look at the graphs or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm tanking right now. But I've got the basic Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those are the two main ones I've got. I've got some Sol as well. But I didn't educate myself enough on it to invest wisely, if I'm totally honest.
So, what do you think of XRP? Do you know much about that? Because
No,
I've
I know.
invested in
Is
that.
there not a court case where there's blocking
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
transactions or something?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know too much about it.
Oh, so you don't know much about
No,
that?
no.
Okay. You've got your own podcast as well, haven't you?
I have indeed.
Can you tell me about that? Because I really want to know. How long have you had the podcast for, firstly?
So I was talking to someone earlier, actually, Lulu, who's your guest as well.
Who's Lulu?
Lulu Johnson, the Lulu Johnson.
Oh, Lulu. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Lulu. Property entrepreneur.
Of course I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a podcast. It's been running since the end of COVID lockdown.
Yeah, yeah.
I've named it after myself.
Yeah.
Very modest. It's okay. I mean, it's been going
So
well.
you launched in COVID, towards the end of COVID?
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, there was a period the year before where I'd been on every single property podcast. So no one else was inviting me because there's no other podcast to go on. Same as this year, really. So I was like, look, how else can I do it? Like, so I thought, let's just start my own.
Yeah.
I've got a good circle of property people that I know as a foundation, and
Yeah.
then just get more guests on. I enjoy it. I've slowed down on it because I can't do physical ones. I'm too busy traveling and stuff to do a studio shoot. So the content on Zoom, just if you did this on Zoom, it's just not good, is it?
Yeah, it's not. I find it better in person.
Yeah. So I've slowed down. I think I'm gonna pivot and just do more solo episodes.
Yeah.
So maybe niche and just do really specific finance things, small 5-minute.
Because you've got a lot of value to offer in that, so you might as well.
Yeah, I'm I'm qualified to talk about it. That's the thing that gets me. Yeah, a lot of these finance influencers,
Right.
TikTokers,
Right.
who talk about finance and money tips and mortgages,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're not qualified. Like, what's their qualification? Apart from me good at speaking, what's their actual qualification? They're
Seems
not
like you're upset with someone.
trigger, innit?
You know, like you've seen. Did you see Samuel Leeds' fight with?
Listen, I was gonna go, man. Rob Moore.
Rob Moore. Who were you supporting?
I dislike them both equally.
Really?
Nah, I have no feelings towards either. I'm
Were you rooting for anyone specifically?
Nah. but I heard the event itself was good for the network and the people that was there. Mark Tilbury was there. Do you know Mark Tilbury?
No.
So Mark Tilbury and his son Curtis, they run a massive podcast in Dubai. Mark's like this
Okay.
older gentleman, but he understands modern business. He sounds so. They had big people there, yeah. Crepton Conan.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause Samuel
No, that's
Leeds.
his boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Sorry.
was getting to, so see, like in the property game, they've had a boxing match.
Yes.
So obviously you're not happy with people talking about money in your game.
God.
Would you ever do a boxing match with another finance guy? Hey YouTube, I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I have to share this with you. I want you to get to your next level, and I believe that personal development is the gateway to success. So what I've done is I've gone and created a 7-day free audio course. This is totally free. All you have to do is sign up, and from day 1 till day 7, every single day, you will receive a 2-minute audio from me, which will elevate your mindset and give you power in your business. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
I don't have the cardio game, unfortunately.
Come on, bro. You've
My
got the
ticket
shape
is
for
just-
it.
Yeah, listen, I'm a short guy.
6
innit?
weeks, 12 weeks camp.
Are you going to train me?
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out.
out.
If you train me, I'll do it.
Would you?
No.
Okay, so since you said you would do it,
Okay.
is there anybody that you dislike in the game and you think, or maybe not dislike, or just think, you know what? Let's work out who's number 1 here.
Nah, you know what? I'm not a violent person. I'd rather just talk about things. Let's talk
No,
through our
boxing
feelings.
is not violence.
You get
Fighting
knocked-
is
you get knocked
violence.
to your head until you collapse, basically. You know what I mean?
You could do, well, you could do body punches.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Okay, so we're not going to see Shaz in the boxing.
we're not.
And you're not calling anyone out, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so this is a really interesting one, right? I really want to know about this. Is there mortgage brokers out there that fabricate paperwork to get someone mortgages, or is that a myth, or that doesn't happen?
It does happen.
Okay, so
And
does it?
Yes, it does. No, the only reason I know this is because I've had people come to me saying, and
We'll give you-
They were like, "Oh, are you the kind of broker that does this?" I'm like, "No, go, get away." But
Yeah.
So it must happen. It must happen.
Right. So I take it. It's like with anything, really, isn't it? There's always going to be
Yeah, it's
a
just
dark
like-
world in it that
yeah,
does deal.
but
It's just
it's one of those, man. Look, if you haven't got enough deposit, save up for longer. Be patient. If you haven't got the right documents, get the right documents. The right way is the right way for a reason.
yeah.
There's no reason for the brokers to take a risk just for a bit of money, and people shouldn't be risking to just being. It's illegal. At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? You're asking for £100,000 of someone else's money,
Yeah.
and you're fraudulently providing docs. It's just not worth it.
Okay, fine. So, but it does happen, right?
I definitely think it does because I've been approached and asked, "Will you do this?" And I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. So see if I wanted to apply for a mortgage,
yes.
are you going to ask for my personal bank statements?
I'm gonna ask for everything. Yes.
Right. So usually a lot of people are not organised in the way they spend their money.
Yes, correct.
So they gamble. They order Deliveroos every other
They do
night.
OnlyFans.
I don't know about that.
That's a good topic.
Since
We're gonna
you
just
brought
talk about
that up,
this.
maybe
Yes.
you must know something about that.
Yes.
But,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
people spend money like just
Without realizing.
without realizing they're spending it. So do lenders see that and be like, well, he's not really, he can't even organize his own funds, so I'm going to be a bit careful what I lend him or her.
Look, it all depends, and it's all about contextualization, right?
Right,
So if every week on your bank statement there's 20 quid to Ladbrokes, that's fine, not the end of the world, is it?
right.
But if over a 3-month period it goes from 20 quid a week to 50 to 60 to 100, that's a worrying trend.
Yeah,
That'll be questioned. Same with OnlyFans. There literally is nothing wrong with an OF transaction on a bank statement.
yeah.
But if that 50 quid whatever turns into 100 to 200, that's the trend that's negative.
Yeah,
And what lenders really look at is being sustainable. So what's your money in each month? What's your money out? Have you got enough in there to cover your lifestyle plus voids and repairs? And that's what we look at.
right, okay. So would you say to someone that's applying for a mortgage soon that just clean your banks?
I say to everyone,
6
plan
months, clean
6
them a
months
bit.
ahead. I'm so glad, yeah, 6 months ahead. Because by the time you're looking for a house and your first one gets declined and stuff, that takes a good 6 months.
Yeah,
Plan 6 months ahead. Things to avoid, like obviously the gambling stuff,
Yeah.
the OnlyFans, any hobbies and habits you want to hide those. But also, like between friends, you might transfer me some money and just call it, I don't know, like AK-47 money, whatever.
yeah.
Avoid those sorts of things. It's not
Right.
the end of the world, but you just don't want things to be questioned.
The little things, but they matter, right?
They matter, right? And also, another tip, like a little hack, a lot of people's savings accounts, where they put the deposit in, those accounts, because they are savings accounts, don't generate bank statements for like years, like once a year. Don't do that, or change it so it's monthly. because when you need to then prove your deposit and you can't get your bank statement, you're kind of stuck, right? So, yeah, and also, when you're speaking to your broker,
Yeah.
you're like, here's my bank statements, just use some common sense. Like, if you can see clearly that you're getting paid, you're spending, getting paid, you're spending, and there's a random 20 grand coming in from whatever, explain it. Like, it's probably nothing, but explain it before someone else asks you what that is.
Yeah.
It's all about preempting.
What about going down the route of using your credit card
Mm-hmm.
for everything, and then keeping your bank statement just as your wages coming in and bills going out, and that is because a lot of people do use credit
You
cards.
can do. I think if you do that though, and then you only pay the minimum amount back, that's a problem. If you pay the full balance,
Then
like
it's
now
fine.
X, it's fine. Because obviously your credit report also matters, yeah.
Yeah.
With the credit report, ignore the number. If when you get 999 and you want to put it on social media, it doesn't mean anything. The reason for that is like Experian and Equifax, they work that number out differently, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Pardon me. What lenders look at is like the ones and zeros on the report. So if it's any ones, it means you're 1 month late. If it's twos, 2 months late.
Wow.
Ideally, it should be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 all the way through. Any numbers on there, explain what it was. It could be that I switched to a new bank account, my direct debit got missed.
Yeah.
Just explanations.
It's all about,
are the important things. And CCJs, avoid CCJs as well.
Yeah, they're dangerous, them, aren't they?
Pay the parking fine. It's worth paying the 60 quid parking fine and getting a CCJ.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with that. I've had loads, but I always
What,
pay.
CCJs or parking fines?
No parking fines.
Yeah.
And the CCJ, I think. But I
6
appealed
years.
it and got it removed, yeah.
You got it appealed? Okay.
Yeah. So, you go to a lot of networking events.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, West Shaz.
Yeah, is that all of them? Is it any, like, what would you say now, the ones that you've been to, what are the top 2 or top 3 or even best ones?
I mean, I'm trying to be a bit more selective. I'll be totally, it doesn't seem like it, but I am trying to be a bit more selective because time, is important. So I think in terms of the property space, there's Savoy's. Are you aware of Savoy's Properties?
Of course I am, yeah.
Yeah, so they run these events every quarter. They don't charge anything. There's no real education on it, so no one's speaking. They do a little speech and you just crack on and network.
Yeah, but isn't that invite only, right?
Invite only guest list.
Yeah.
So
only guests like you get invited though, right?
Well, I'm on my last kind of like invite. But I think the good thing there is they get a good group of people in the room.
Yeah, there's always good stuff.
There's no one selling anything, just having a good time, networking, you make some good connections. But the drawback is there's no education, so you're not learning anything there.
Okay.
Because some people want to go to an event, learn something, come back home, yeah? So in terms of the education events, man, I'm a bit jaded with it because if you go to the same education event, let's say PIN, Property Investors Network, they got 50 up and down the country. If you go to this one in Manchester and you go there for 6 months, you'll see the same people doing no deals, come into the same event every month, and just to feel part of the crew. And it's like people need to take action sometimes, and I feel like, guys, come on, like you need to buy a house with all the money. So with the education stuff, it is difficult. I'm not sure who's doing education really that well. But in terms of networking, Savoy's do it really well. D. Ludlow, to be fair, all of these events are absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I think I need to go to. I think I went to one of his in.
In Cardiff, we were there.
Yeah, was that in COVID, isn't it?
Was it in COVID?
It was years ago.
I was on stage with Ted.
You was, yeah.
Yeah. So all of these events always get sold out. It's always a good crowd of people.
Yeah.
There's always value because
he teaches different stuff.
He teaches himself, and he doesn't really sell anything. Like obviously we're aware he has courses or whatever, but he doesn't actually push anything.
Yeah.
It's all value. So these events are really good actually.
When's the next one?
I'm not sure.
And they flew on a private jet as well, didn't they? Recently.
Yeah.
Were you on that as well, or you?
No, I'm not private jet club.
Why?
I'm a humble guy, man.
Yeah.
It's an easy jet for me.
Okay, so Shaz, is there anything that you want to talk about? Anything you want to give some advice to some young people? Anything you want to share? Also, what's your relationship like with health? Because see, you got
What?
You got a t-shirt on, so
Oh,
you're
no,
flexing or something.
I had a pump earlier and I just went to the gym before I came to see you. Right. Okay, relationship with health. I think my diet's absolutely terrible. So that's why I go to the gym, just to try and balance. I know you can't outwork a bad diet, but that's why I train. In terms of other bits, I think what I would say to my younger self, for example, is be more ambitious and take the risks earlier on when you've got a bit more time on your side. But it's never too late to start.
Yeah.
In terms of social media, like I get a lot of people messaging me going, Shaz, your content's so good, how do you find the time, or how do you get the confidence and all this kind of stuff? Bro, I'm really shy, I'm not that confident.
Okay.
but you learn to get over yourself. So
Yeah,
as long as the content you're producing is valuable, there's no hidden agenda. You're not trying to rinse people for money.
Yeah.
No one cares what you look like, what you sound like, as long as the content is spot on,
It's
right?
good. Yeah, yeah.
You can film with your phone, you can film with your Sony ZV-E10 camera. It doesn't matter as long
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you're putting something out there. And then, if you don't want to put your face out there, Threads, the new thing from Meta. Have you seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
You're on there. I think I follow you.
Yeah, yeah.
That app is so good for people who just don't want to put their face out there because it's just words. Yeah. And I'm using it a lot more than Instagram now because you don't have to plan. You just what's in your head, post.
Just post it.
You just
Yeah.
post, and it'll show actually people. It'll be more life and not lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like there's no flat fronting on it because it's just text.
Yeah.
So learn sales, learn how to be effective at communication, and learn how to be valuable. I consider myself a valuable person because of the value I give to people I work with.
Interesting. That's well put. I just want to know, what is the biggest, like, what's been your most darkest time in your life so far, up until now?
I mean, keeping it work related. I got made redundant and then started a job as a mortgage broker, employed. I was there for 11 months.
Yeah.
And then without any real good reason, I got sacked. And I remember that a lot because I was just sat in the car like, what the hell has just happened?
Are you smiling?
No, I wasn't smiling. That was the time I wasn't smiling.
Okay.
The frown, it was a frown. And I remember thinking like, am I going to go home and tell my mum I got sacked from a job? Like, what the hell? I had no job, then no income, I had bills, I had no clients, no prospects, right? But that really led to me going, you know what, I don't want a job again. I want to have my own thing. And then I started going self-employed. So that was me, kind of my light bulb moment.
Even though it was like your worst moment, it was kind of your best moment, wasn't it?
It's memorable, for sure. And I guess it's the driver. Like, I don't have many chips on my shoulder. But I realised that is it. Like, that guy who sacked me, sometimes I think back going, he was an absolute...
Yeah, yeah.
I'll box him, actually.
What's his name?
I can't really put it on air, can I?
Of course you can.
No, I cannot.
No? What's his initials?
HB.
HP. It's a big call out here from Shaz. If you're watching this, reach out to me. I'll make it happen.
Make it happen. Okay, cool.
I can see you're serious as well.
Yeah, because you've reminded me of the
Wow.
bad times. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least the score will be settled.
Absolutely.
So, you'll feel better about it. Otherwise, you'll carry it for the rest of your life. So, you might as well.
But
step
it
in
is
it
one of
again.
those things, I think, like I say, I didn't realise until recently that I've got a chip on my shoulder about it. Because, you know what happened? Now that we're talking about it, I'm getting really passionate. I'm really petty sometimes. So on Facebook, someone was asking for a mortgage broker. I need a mortgage broker. Can someone recommend someone? Happens all the time. I get tagged, everyone tags me. So everyone was tagging me. It's great. And then I messaged going, yeah, I can certainly help you, whatever, give me a call. And then this HP character commented underneath on my comment going, yes, I taught Shaz everything he knows. And then everything came back to me. I was like,
So he's still involved in the circle. He's
still
watching you.
He's clearly watching me and clearly trying to take credit for what I've built.
So yeah, definitely, I think we need to make that happen.
Yeah.
I think you guys will sell tickets.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll
What are we thinking? Like, are we thinking like Old Trafford or?
we'll see about that. It has to be somewhere. I think it'll be good to do it in your own hometown.
In Wales, okay.
Just because
Hometown hero, innit?
Yeah. Yeah. But Shaz, listen, thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. We'll put all your links and all that in the description below.
God bless. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Cheers.